And you live.
What's going on? What's going on, everybody? How everybody doing this morning? How you doing this morning, Cat?
Oh, I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great. It's I personally am a little excited for what's going on right now with these moves that the Miami Dolphins have made. I've already expressed my feelings a little bit over the last couple days. One thing I'm super excited about is the Bobby Slowick move. Like, I've been fighting for this guy since last year. So him getting elevated to our offensive coordinator, I think, is going to be really good for us moving forward.
Cool, cool, cool. Yeah, I've been liking Jeff and Eric and Sully. I've been liking what they've been putting down. I've been picking it up. They I mean, even though they all been saying all the right words, but one thing that Jeff comes with is the resume that I've been preaching for with Vance Joseph. You know what I'm saying? That even though it's kind of different, but it comes with experience. It comes with, you know, some kind of, knowledge about the position from jump stream. So even though he a first time head coach in the NFL, the fact that he even walked in them shoes,
Um,
is kind of good for us.
yeah, and I got some news. I don't know if you saw this interview yet or not, but before we get to that, welcome in Cassidy from Pittsburgh. Thanks for joining. But I watched an interview with Dave Wanstatt. He had an interview a couple days ago. I don't know if you checked that out or not.
Nah, not with Dave Wanstead, but I did hear of Jeff coaching with Dave Wanstead in
Yes. So
Boston College, wasn't it? Or
it
somewhere?
was Pittsburgh, actually.
Pittsburgh,
That's where it
right,
was.
yeah, yeah,
Cassidy rolling in from Pittsburgh reminded me of it. So
yeah,
I was listening to it last night, and Dave Wanstatt had a whole lot of great things to say about Jeff Hafley. Not only did he have great things to say about Jeff Hafley, but he is actually in contact with Jeff Hafley on a regular basis and said that he will be in contact and will be helping Jeff Hafley through this process. He has already been in Jeff Hafley's ear about our quarterback situation. So it's like hearing Dave Wanstatt say those things gives me even more confidence to buy into what this Miami organization is doing right now. Because I
yeah,
mean, let's
yeah,
be real. Other than Don Shula, Dave Wanstatt has been the best coach we've had.
yeah, yeah. I would agree. I would agree. I would agree with that. Yeah, like I said, man, Jeff Hadley, like it's just you know what he's been saying. Even that interview with Richie.
Rich
You know what I'm
Eisen,
saying? Yeah,
that was
Rich Eisen.
great. That was a
Yeah,
great
that was a
interview.
yeah, that brought out that brought to me that brought out Jeff personality a little more. You know what
And
I'm saying?
Rich Eisen is good at that too. He does really good interviews. He's able to like make
Yeah,
people feel comfortable so they talk freely.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. He was able to do that with him and he went right into it with no second thoughts about it. You know what I'm saying? Like he didn't even think twice about, you know, speaking freely or getting like that. And yeah, like I said, man, Jeff, he's really he seemed like a everyday person to me right now.
Yeah, he's definitely worked his way up, and I feel like he's ready for this position, right? I hear about the story of when he was in Pittsburgh and he was like sleeping under his desk for 2 years while working this job, and like Dave Wanstatt was talking about that, and like just the commitment and resilience that this guy has, and like even from the beginning, he said people would just buy into him and follow him, so.
Yeah, yeah.
It should be
Even
really good.
yeah, like I said, man, any man that's willing to leave a situation on his own terms, you know what I'm saying? Like you gotta respect that because he know he's not getting what he want out of it. And that's what he said about the Boston College situation. It wasn't becoming about coaching anymore. It was more about recruiting and and being a fundraiser and stuff like that. He wasn't really coaching the kids no more. So, you know what I'm saying? To come over to the NFL to take a step back like that, the same thing that Vince Joseph did. He had to take a step back from being a head coach. You know what I'm saying? That right there shows that, you know, he understands it's not all about him.
But let me ask you though, is it really taking a step back, right? Because like let's look at it this way. Like you gain the rank, you worked your way up through the college system, right? You worked from the bottom of the colleging system, you worked your way up to becoming a head coach there. You head coached a college team for 4 years, and then you moved into the NFL. Didn't jump straight into coaching, right? Didn't jump straight into coaching, just jumped into another role where he's comfortable in, defensive coordinator, and worked his way through there and now becoming a head coach. So is it really taking a step back, or was it just like a more surefire part of the process to make sure that when you do actually take that first head coaching job, you're prepared for it and you're not like Mike McDaniel, for example, he wasn't ready for it.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't say take a step back then. I would say I would use his exact words that he used then. He bet on himself. You know what I'm saying? And that right there is, when you bet on yourself and you come out on the other end, then that's some confidence you need to roll with. That's the confidence that, will get you through them hard times. You know what I mean? And he very much did that. In his own words, he very much did that. He stepped away from that situation on his own terms, and he just took a bet on himself. And hey, how you like them apples? Ain't that what they was using?
Yeah.
How you like
And
them apples?
Kenneth's dealing with snow too. He had to shovel his driveway this morning. But yeah,
Yeah,
this is the joy. This is the joys of living in Florida, I guess.
right. Yeah, yeah. Look,
But you wanted to talk about the presser. So what is your opinion and your thoughts from the presser? Did you watch the whole thing or did you just watch the introductory speeches?
um, I watched pretty much the whole thing, and like I said, man, watching the introductory presser and watching that Rich Eisen interview, like I said, man, what we getting right now is we getting a guy that is an everyday person. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't feel like I was getting a different Jeff with Richie than I was getting in the presser. You know what I'm saying? Like even though he was able to, you know, kick back in the rich interview a little more, doesn't mean it wasn't the same him kicking back. You get what I'm saying? It was the same him. It was just the consistent person, and that's what I'm getting out of watching them interviews. Sully, he's I ain't seen too many interviews with him at home, but you know, just the
Well, we
mind
got
frame.
we got
Go
the
ahead.
Travis Wingfield interview, right? Where we broke down last week, the Travis Wingfield interview where he was talking about
Well,
wanting to
those
build
two,
the team,
yeah, yeah, those
wanting to
two,
build
those
the
two.
team not through personal preferences, but for what's best for the team. And then he hired Jeff Hafley, and all the talk about like he's already um, hiring his friends. I like
But
that in the presser. I like that in the presser. Not only did he double down on that statement, right, that he had in the Travis Wingfield interview, where he wants to build the team not through personal friendships, but what's best. But in that presser, in his introductory, he also went through and explained why he hired Jeff. And he's like, I had worked with this guy closely, and I know that he's the best guy for the job, et cetera, et cetera. You know what I mean? But it's like I just wanted to pinpoint on that so that we can keep a tag in our brains and keep an eye on it because he's doubled down on the fact that he says that it's not going to be personal with his decisions, that it's going to be what's best for the team. So let's just keep an eye on that and make sure his continued decisions reflect that and not the latter.
All right. Well, also with that being said, since you know are making that point clear, we got to understand that sometimes you know this head coach is also making decisions based off of what Sully vision is. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we, you know, at times when we blaming the head coach, we need to see if we need to blame the general manager instead of the head coach because, you know, like you just said, he has doubled down on, you know, on his vision on two occasions. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? I mean, I like that. You know, you making him, he's making it well aware that, you know, this is my plan and I'm sticking to it.
And then another thing that he's talked about and he's doubled down on, he said it in the Wingfield interview and in the introductory, is the fact of how the decisions, like at the end of the day, the decisions are going to be his, right? He respects opinions, he respects other people's advice, but when it comes down to it, the decisions that need to be made are going to be his and his alone to make. With that being said, how much power, like, who are we going to put the blame on now when it comes, if like things don't work out in the future? It's like, who are we now going to put the blame on? Because it's like we have Jeff Hapley, who's the coach, who's kind of supposed to be making some kind of decisions. You know, some of these decisions are going to fall on Jeff Hapley. So it's like, I want to know, like, this is something that the people that ask them questions need to ask them. It's like, hey, what responsibilities are going to be Jeff Hapley's responsibilities? And then, like, which responsibilities are you talking about that you're going to be the sole decider on? Because it's like things that happen on the field, that should be a Jeff Hapley thing. Things that happen as far as getting people on the field, that should be the Sully decision.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he he right now, the way he's speaking right now, we just got to take it as a broad. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, as we continue, I hopefully they will ask more in-depth question like that. You know, like I would like to know that too. You know, when can we hold you accountable, and when we gotta, when should we hold the head coach accountable? But you know that comes when that comes in. That comes to Jeff to step up then. You know what I'm saying? Like if you ask me, you know, like Sully already taking head by taking responsibility for, you know, all of it right now. So, you know, it'll be on Jeff to step up and say, this is my responsibility right here. So, you know, I wouldn't want you to judge him off of this. This is what you need to judge off of me. You know what I mean?
Yes, yeah, no, 100%, 100%. Like that's one of the things that didn't get clarified in that press conference. You know,
And I don't think Jeff is gonna do that just yet. You know, this is his first time coaching in the NFL right now, so I think he's gonna kind of play it. He gonna play it the same way they played it in Green Bay. I'm gonna put it like that. You know what I'm saying? I would like to see how things start. You know, acting once they, you know, don't agree on what they're gonna do with particular situations. But
so
right now,
you
but right
wanted
now, I
you wanted
don't
to
do nothing. Go ahead.
you wanted to talk about Malik Willis. Let me hear your thoughts on Malik Willis. Like, buy me in on why we should sell me on why we should go and pursue this guy in the offseason.
Man, that it, that eye test, man, that eye test is a killer. That eye test is a killer, and I'm telling you, from what I saw, I know it was a little bit of snippet right now, but that um, he looked like a right-handed Vic to me. He was giving me Vic vibes. You know, them plays that he was doing and making, them was giving me Vic vibes, yo. Like he came a long way in his what 2 to 3 year tender right now because I know he was drafted by Tennessee. So he done came, man. I'm gonna put it to you like this: he light years ahead of Tua.
No,
The
I
plays he
believe
was.
that. I believe that. But you got to look at, all right, so now that we got our offensive coordinator settled, right? And it's Bobby Slowick. That's our offensive coordinator. So now we need to go back and we need to look at the Houston Texans from 2021 to 2024, right? Those 2 years that the Houston Texans made it into the playoffs with rookie CJ Stroud and a brand new head coach, D'Amico Ryans. Bobby Slowick was the offensive coordinator on that team during that time. And you can definitely see somewhat of a difference, right? So if you go from those 2 years watching the Houston Texans to go and watching them this year, yes, they made it into the playoffs again, but it wasn't because of offense, right? It was because they had the
Right,
the number one scoring defense in the league. Um, because you saw how much mistakes CJ Stroud was making throughout the year. So it's
right,
like we have to
right.
go, we have to now watch and stifle through that 2021 to 2024 Houston Texans team to really see what kind of team our team is going to look like, because that's kind of what we're going to emulate with Bobby Slowick as offensive coordinator, because Jeff Hafley's already said that he's going to be calling plays for defense, so he's not going to be able to really do too much as far as the offense goes. So that's why he brought in the offensive coordinator he was comfortable with being able to make sole decisions on the offensive side. How
So
does that make you feel? Do you remember the Houston Texan team from 2 years ago?
yeah, that's when CJ Stroud hit the scene, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna put it to you like this: when 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 you look at Malik Willis and what he was doing in Green Bay, and not only the creative plays that he was making, let's look at the plays where he had to step up in the pocket and deliver a pass. You know what I'm saying? Them passes was accurate. You know what I'm saying? They was on the line. He had the arm talent to get it there, and it was and I mean, and it was good decision making too. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, yeah, yeah. You pair that with just replace this year Malik Willis with C.J. Stroud that year, and you know what I'm saying? Like Malik Willis a whole year getting in rhythm. You know what I'm saying? Filling everything out. I mean, hey, who knows? Who knows what you could have ran into that year? Because he also had CJ also had weapons on the outside and a good running back. You know what I'm saying? The
Yeah. They
offense was
had Joe
clicking and
Mixon.
everything. They
They
had some
had Joe
weapons.
Mixon, who's like not quite as good as A Chain.
You know what I mean? So I mean, you know, I
All
feel
right, so
like Malik
let's
Willis would do
explore.
good.
Let's explore the Malik Willis option, right? Can you go ahead and share the link to your channel in the chat, Kenna, um, or tell them how to find you?
Yeah, you can
Oh yeah,
find me at Only the Real Survive. And yeah, I'm gonna drop that link. So I won't. Okay.
I have to make you. I might have to make you a mod on the channel. I haven't made anybody mod yet. Anyway, so let's explore. Let's explore what it would take to get a guy like Malik Willis, and I'm going to answer your question too, about our 11th pick and who we should grab with the 11th pick. So Malik Willis, let's say his contract for a 1 year deal. We're not going to get to sign him for a 1 year deal. It would be a multi-year deal, but it would average probably, I'm going to say 12 to 20 million per year, right? And we're assuming like we still have Tyreek Hill at this point. We still have Tua, and we got to figure out what to do with that contract. So like we're going into this season in the worst state that any other team is going into, right? We have 30 free agents that we have to deal with. We have $27 million that we have to come off of just to hit salary cap. And yes, we will get an increase in salary cap this year. It typically increases 21 to 25 million per year. So I'm guessing we'll probably get a 21 to 23 million dollar salary cap this year. So we still got to come off of $4 million just to hit salary cap. So we don't have room to go out here and play with free agents. And they actually discussed that in one of the interviews Jeff Halfley did and Sully did. They're like, we don't have a lot of money to play around with free agency, but we will be diligent in free agency when we are able to, right? So this year is a building year. And how do you build a team, right? You build a team through the draft. And I know grabbing the offensive guard with pick 11 seems really intriguing because it is definitely a position that we need. But picture this. I already did a mock draft. I did one mock draft already, and it's on our posts if you guys want to go check it out. But if we could trade out of the 11th pick, because I checked out all the people in the first round of the positions that we need, and yes, they're good, but they're not generational talent in those positions. Why don't we just trade out of the 11th pick, grab a couple extra second and third round picks, and maybe some picks for next year as well by trading out of the first round? Because you could still get players in positions you need that are fairly equal to the players that you're going to get in the first round. I've been doing a lot of research. Like I said, go check out any of the names in the mock draft that I did. It's on my post page. Go check it out. I feel like we should draft out of round one, grab picks because we have to build through the draft. These next 2 years, we have to build through the draft before we can even fathom going and getting some kind of big name player in free agency. And
I
that's
mean,
why
yeah,
I feel like we should just pass on Malik Willis, roll with what we got, because we already know going into 2026. Right now, it's technically the second hardest schedule in the league, right? But that could easily change because we don't know what the Buffalo Bills are going to look like next year. That's two of our games that they're considering hard. We don't know that if the New England Patriots are going to be able to sustain this success. So that's two more games that they're considering hard. We don't know what the Kansas City Chiefs are going to look like next year. That's another game that they're considering tough. The Baltimore Ravens, it's another team they're considering tough. We don't know what they're going to look like. So, I mean, like, we could go, like, by the start of next season, now it says that we're the second toughest schedule. By the start of next season, we could easily be the 10th toughest schedule just because of how the other teams turn out.
yeah. I mean, I understand all of that. I get all of that, but just think if just think if the upside is, it's proven for Malik. You know what I'm saying? I ain't saying that, it's guaranteed. Just think if the upside for Malik is already proven for him. He just got to live through it. So if it's already proven for him and he just got to live through it, just think how much that would speed up, you know, this process for them already because, you know what I'm saying? Come next year, we don't have to worry about this quarterback position. We found someone. So now we can go ahead and move forward and continuing to build and find better players to replace, or like he said, continue to have competition throughout this the widespread of this team. Because that's what he also said in his interview too, that we was gonna have competition at every position.
Yeah. And he said it like whether it's people that are in the building or whether it's people we bring in. Um,
Right. It's
so I'm
gonna
gonna
be
give you a hot
competition.
take right now. I'm gonna go ahead and give you a hot take right now because come March 18th, we owe Tyreek Hill $11.8 million in guaranteed money if he's still on this team after March 18th. So here's my hot take, ladies and gentlemen. If we cut Tyreek Hill to save that $11.8 million, then Kenna, I would say that I believe that they're doing that to go after Malik Willis to free up some cap space to be able to afford him. But if we keep Tyreek, you won't see Malik.
I mean, I looking at the way Malik was working with those receivers over there, and we really, I mean, he had Christian Woods, didn't he? I mean, he was their number one over there. But all of
Christian
them other
Watson,
receivers, yeah, Christian Watson, yeah, my fault. But all of them other receivers over there, I mean, just look at how Green Bay just built their roster. They stay with draft picks and young players consistently. So they stay with players trying to consistency establish their name. So you know what I'm saying? Even if we was to get rid of Tyreek Hill, I would still trust Malik with players that wanna, establish their name in this NFL. Cause he come from, he experienced an organization that consistently does that on a consistent basis. So, you know, he 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 know the look of players that want to do better or want more. You know what I'm saying?
I also want to take a moment, and I want the fans and I want everybody out there in the Finn world to understand that for the last 6 years, our players have been playing football backwards from what they grew up learning how to play football. Now our players are going to get back to being able to play normal football, and by that I mean we're going from the left-handed quarterback. And whether you want to believe it or not, everything changes when it's a left-handed quarterback. The ball spins differently. Like the way that they had to run this offense, it was not normal for most players, offensive linemen, receivers, the running back. Like all of these positions are affected by our left-handed quarterback being left-handed. Now they're going to get to go back to playing normal football. So a guy like Jalen Waddle actually might not be as bad as he has looked the last couple seasons being playing with our left-handed quarterback, if that makes any sense to you guys.
Last couple seasons, you mean last couple years? Because he was with Waddle. Waddle was with Tua even in college. So if anybody that should have been adjusted to it, it is Waddle.
Yeah, that's a bad example on that one, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah.
Malik
But
Malik Washington would be a better example.
right, right. But yeah, I mean, I feel like if we can kick the tires on Malik Willis, yo, and it's something there, like because tape don't lie, tape don't lie. You know what I mean? Tape do not lie. We looked at Tua and we looked at McDaniel offense, and everybody was starting to come around to an agreement that it is players open on the field. Tua is just not seeing them or hitting them. You know what I mean? And you know that tape don't lie. He was giving me a right-handed Mike Vick vibes, getting up out of that pocket, making it happen. You know what I'm saying? His elusiveness, making players miss, like, squeezing balls in the windows, dropping it
Now,
over the linebacker head.
it's definitely intriguing. Like I like the idea. I don't feel like it's a good move as far as the future goes. That's just my personal opinion. Just because of the whole salary cap situation, it has nothing to do with the player itself. Like if we weren't in such cap hell and free agency hell that we're in right now, I would say go for it. I would say run that shit,
I mean,
bring
but
him in
but
on a
think about it
multi-year
though.
deal, and
But
we
think
can.
about it though. Think about it. He come in and he do this with low budget players. Just think of what he's gonna do when you get out of the cap hell.
Well, by that time, hopefully, we found a franchise quarterback through the draft. And if that's the case, because that's going to be the goal, right? Jeff Hafley and Sully have already said that we're going to draft a quarterback every year or every other year until we find the guy. So bringing
I
in Malik
mean,
Willis, they're going to bring him in. Like even if they do bring him in, they're going to bring him in with the intentions of it being like a 2 or 3 year deal, just to be a bridge quarterback. And
hey,
that's why I'm not 100% bought in on it, because I already know that they don't plan on making him the franchise guy. That would not be the plan coming in. And even if he were to go out and ball out, I don't think they would sway from what they originally said. And we would hope that they stick to what they said in their pressers, right? Because that's what we want them to do. So
I
by them
mean,
going
just
out
imagine,
and bringing Malik Willis,
just imagine if Malik Willis come in here and within his okay 3-year contract and on his third year, we actually get to the playoffs and we win a playoff game, and he take it from there. Whether it's good, bad, he take it from there. Wouldn't you say that that is progress? Because you know what I'm saying. The draft class next year, everybody already saying, well,
I,
there's nobody really good, you know.
that really depends, Kenna. That really depends, right? Because like, wow, he had a flash in a pan, took us into the playoffs one year, and is it sustainable, right? If it's sustainable and he keeps doing it, then it was great. If not, then it was just exactly that, a flash in the pan. One year, just and then we're still in the same quarterback cycle that we're in because the following year, if we don't go back to the playoffs, we're looking in the same situation. And I'm looking at it. So it's like, let's picture this. We do bring in Malik Willis this year and we still tank, but don't tank. You know what I mean? Because based on the schedule, we should easily be fighting for the number one pick in 2027, just based on the toughness of our schedule and the opponents that we have to play next year. And the state of our team, like we're not going to be able to go get big name players that are going to turn this into a championship team next year, unless we do it perfect. But anyway, so we're picturing that next year we're going to have the number one pick, maybe the number two pick. And who do you think they're going to grab with that? Most likely Archie Manning, right? Or
I
maybe
mean,
Dante Moore. So
I
now
mean
you have now you have
I
them
mean
in.
that
Hold
just
on. Now you have them in. You have Archie Manning or Dante Moore in here on the team playing behind Malik Willis. You think they're going to
I,
keep playing Malik Willis, or do you think they're going to end up starting
I
the
mean
rookie?
that's creating quarterback competition, and on top of that, it just depends on you know what Malik shows that you know you might want to say, well, shit, I'm better off running with Malik. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't even gonna lie, cause I'm a good advocate of Archie Manning right now. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, like, if this kid talent does come to fruition that he is throwing on tape, like, wouldn't you would want that over Arch Manning anyway at this point?
But to argue for your fact, another point too is that okay, we have Malik Willis. He's actually turned out to be doing good, like taking this team to winning. And we drafted Archie Manning, and now they can do what they did in Green Bay, right? And sit Archie Manning behind Malik Willis for a couple years, let him develop behind a winning strategy, a winning quarterback, and that's the goal, right? Us to get on the same path that the Green Bay Packers are on. That is the
Facts,
goal.
and that's yeah, and that's probably what they would do anyway. So yeah, like I said, it would make. I mean, that's creating quarterback competition anyway. So and I'm not against it. I'm just saying, like, you know, we got to get somebody in here to, Cutler's point that he does try to make a lot. We got to get somebody up in here that's gonna raise the bar of competition. That way, we can evaluate competition for real. You know what I'm saying? We can't have nobody in here like Tua and think he's the highest bar of competition when, he was barely a bleep on the competition level or scale. Like it's just amazing to me. Like I don't see how Zach Wilson did not outperform him. You know what I'm saying? Like that lets you know again, like I said, that Zach Wilson move was just to portray that Tua is a better quarterback still because Zach Wilson was a what, first round, first pick, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I mean,
So
maybe Zach Wilson was just that bad.
I mean,
'Cause, I mean, you've seen Quinn Ewers beat Zach Wilson out for the job too
I mean
on
that part,
on
that
multiple
part,
occasions.
that part, but it's just hard to believe. It's just hard for me to believe that he ain't beat Tua out. You know, Zach is a way better athlete than Tua, and it's just I
Well,
ain't
I go
saying
back.
athlete over succeeds, but it just still open up windows that is normally closed for Tua.
Well, with Zach Wilson, I go back to his one of his first interviews he had when he joined the team, and I remember him saying that it was really difficult to learn this offense because you have to forget everything that you've learned before, and you have to learn a completely new offense and a completely new way of doing things. So it's like as soon as I saw that interview and I saw like the look on his face when he was talking about it, I knew that he wasn't going to be the guy. I knew that he wasn't going to get real starts as a Dolphin. Um, and it just makes more sense of why he got beat out by Tua, why he got beat out by Ewers, because they just were better at running this offense than he was, because he's not a great quarterback. He definitely went higher than he should have went in the draft to begin with, but that's just so New York Jets, right? That's just so New York Jets to do something like that. So
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you know, everything played out the way it played out. So, yours did beat them out.
so how do you feel? So I've been seeing a lot of mixed emotions on this part of the pressers and introductory for our coach and our GM, because they both got emotional, right? They both showed emotions. They both kind of shed a couple tears while they were doing their introductories. How do you feel about that?
I mean, I guess you got to look at the age limit to answer that question. You get what I'm saying? Because for me right now, you know what I'm saying? Uh, a grown man, I mean, I don't see no problem with that. You know what I'm saying? That tells me that he's well aware of his emotions. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, he's not ashamed, he's not afraid. You know, like it speaks to the maturity level of them. I'm gonna put it like that, to me, in my opinion.
100%. No, I'm totally with you too. I was saying this last night. It's like I feel like they're comfortable with who they are and where they're at. They've worked hard to get where they are. They're appreciative of being put in the position that they're in, and they're passionate. They're passionate about what
Yeah,
they're doing, or else they wouldn't show this type of emotion. You know what I mean? Like I feel like that's them secretly showing that they really mean what they're saying. You know what I mean? Like, if you didn't mean what you're saying, like, let's look at Mike McDaniel last year, for example, or when he got entered in, like, he didn't get any kind of emotional, right? But he didn't come in and really take command of this team and really try and, like, make it a championship team. He just kind of did what he had to do. At the end of the day, if we look back through what he's done for the Miami Dolphins, it's like you came in with an explosive playbook, but other than that, you really didn't do anything.
facts. I mean, but that's what it was all about for him coming in anyway, though. So, you know, which Sully pointed it out. It's up to the general manager to set the culture. It's up to the general manager to set the culture. It's up to the head coach to reinforce it. And it's up to the quarterback to enforce it.
So on the Rich Eisen show, when Jeff Halfley was getting interviewed, he had mentioned that we should have all three of our coordinators in place this weekend. He said we're really close and we're really confident in all three guys. So we got two of them named so far, right? Chris Tabor, special teams coordinator. He's been with the Buffalo Bills for the last couple years, and then Bobby Slowick as our offensive coordinator. Now that leaves our defensive coordinator in question. So what's going to happen, especially now that the Pittsburgh Steelers have announced that Mike McCarthy is their head coach? And the Pittsburgh Steelers were the ones that were really eyeballing Anthony Weaver and probably his only shot at getting a head coaching job. Where does that leave us, and who do you think is going to be our next DC? Is it going to be Anthony Weaver? Are we going to get stuck with him because he can't find another job? Or is it going to be somebody else like Sean Duggan, who's been catching a lot of steam, or this Lem Tabaku guy who worked with Jeff Halfley in Boston College?
Yeah, I was gonna say I think, Jeff Hatley is gonna I mean, I'm sorry, but Weaver gotta go. I ain't too big on Weaver. He gotta get up out of here. You know what I mean? So I'm looking for, Sully to bring in no, Halfley to bring in someone that, you know, it's probably an up and coming young fire. You know what I mean? Like a YN.
Well, Halfley worked with Anthony Weaver as well, right?
Yeah, but I don't think Weaver didn't do too hot. He didn't put on a too. You know what I'm saying? Like last year, I mean, yeah, we just need to
Well,
move on from Weaver.
I think so too, and I'm in that boat. But let me explain why I would be okay with it, right? If we did end up keeping Weaver,
I mean, Hafley
because
did say he was gonna be calling the shots. He did say that. So
exactly. Hafley already said that he's going to be calling the shots on defense. So if like you have a guy in here, Anthony Weaver, it could make him better than what he is because he's not going to have the responsibility of calling the defense. Hafley's going to be calling the defense. So it's kind of like he's got a very short leash on Anthony Weaver. So he can't really mess us up too bad. I think what worries me about Anthony Weaver is like, did he purposely like not try hard in the beginning of the season? You know what I'm saying? And then
I,
towards the
I
last
mean,
half of the season, they were like balling out.
yeah, like I mean, even if
That
he purposely did something like that, you know what I'm saying? Like that just proves my point. He gotta go. Like,
exactly, because if it's
you
a
know what
case
I'm
like that
saying?
where he purposely sabotaged our team and then
Yeah,
like to like build his resume, then yeah, you got to go, man. We can't have something like that in our building. That's not the right culture that we're trying to formulate here.
yeah, it would like I mean, if
But
Hafley
unfortunately,
bring
that's something we're never gonna know.
yeah, if Hafley bring in Weaver, he will lose all credibility of every of the little bit of steam that he has picked up right now. I'm gonna put it like that. If he bring Weaver back, he will lose all of his steam the little bit of steam that he had picked up because you know what I'm saying. Like Weaver did not really. He kind of did, but I mean, I guess for a a third row kind of guy in the back seat, that's probably where he's gonna be. I guess you can't have that much effect, but then again, you could, you know. So I don't know, man. I just feel like that'll go against what they're trying to really establish here.
Well, I mean, you even if you don't have leverage in play calling and stuff, if you're still in the building and you got bad intentions, you can still have an effect on the whole team. Because then you can get buddies with people. You know, there's going to be people that might side with you, and then now you're creating division in the locker room, things like that, which is not good for culture building, especially when you're trying to establish a completely new type of culture.
Yeah, correct. I agree with that wholeheartedly. For real. Yeah. Yeah. That's why I don't think I would expect Jeff to go get somebody that that's young and coming, somebody that want to prove themselves, somebody that got the same, work ethic as he does. I don't think Weaver has that same work ethic as he does at this point,
Yeah, I
and
don't think
that's
so either.
yeah, that's gonna cause for him to have to go back on his word middle of the season, fire Weaver middle of the season, then go find, what I'm saying, go get who he should have got from the jump. Now we got to make you know what I'm saying? Like, to me, that's another setback. That's a setback to me. That's what you would call a setback in their progression. You know what I'm saying? You come in with a DC, then you got to fire him in the middle of the year. Hold on, bro. Like you should have went with who you was gonna go with from the jump. Like go ahead and leave Weaver out.
Yeah, I think it's going to end up being Sean Duggan, in my personal opinion. Um, that's who I feel like is going to end up getting the job.
Yeah, somebody that's gonna go ahead and listen to Jeff, wholeheartedly and everything. Weaver might still have some ill will or ill intentions. You know what I'm saying? I should have been head coach of this team. Fuck wrong with them.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, for real. Y'all make sure y'all smash that like and subscribe. Y'all head over to Only the Real Survive and smash that subscribe button. He's gonna start dropping some shorts for you, ladies and gentlemen, soon, so he can get that subscriber count up.
Yeah. That's
On a scale of 1 to 10, how are you feeling for the off season?
I'm at a like I'm at like a 6.5. I'm at like 6.5, yo. Like, this is a clean sweep. We ain't had no clean sweeping. Ross ain't did this and I don't know when. So maybe something good will come up out of this. And, we got two guys that come from an organization that is known for having young players. So, you know, that means they know how to control a locker room. They know how to control locker room. They know how to motivate these guys, you know. And they come into warm weather where they ain't gotta wear, you know. Hey, I'm excited for them. I'm ready to see what they got cracking.
Yeah, I am too. I got my excitement level for this off season sitting around at 8 right now. And it really depends on how the draft goes and what we do with that, and our moves as far as the all the free agency and salary cap goes. That'll either move my meter up or down. Um, because if we nail the
Well,
draft, I can easily jump to a 10 for this off season. Real quick. If we can find a way to come off of Tua and it not cost us a fortune and somewhat fix our salary cap, that would jump me up to a fucking 20, bro. You have no
I
idea.
mean, the only way to go ahead and get a good hold, bite, and jump on it is to go ahead and cut your losses and move forward. You know what I'm saying? Eat what you gotta eat right now the first year and go ahead and move forward. Cause the next year you ain't gonna have to eat that much and boom, there you go. The third year you up out of it.
Yeah, what is it, like 30 million we would save by cutting him post June 1st?
Yeah, like you know what I'm saying? Like I'm telling you, man, that's the move they probably gonna take. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna go ahead and eat most of it this first year. We gonna see a lot of young players play. We're gonna see a lot of rookies. You know, we're gonna see a lot of young players on that field. So we definitely gonna be. I feel like we definitely gonna be one of the youngest teams next year. We're most definitely gonna be one of the youngest teams, and that's not bad. You know what I'm saying? You evaluating young talent. You trying to establish competition. So one way to do that is to just go young. Just go young. Go ahead, do it. Let these young players play. Zeke Biggers. Phillips. Grant. You know,
So
get
you
a
think Chubb's going to be gone?
uh yeah, yeah. Chubb got to get up out of there. Got to get Chubb up out of there. You know, I don't think it's.
Only because of the contract, right? Not because of like he's not a good player, because he's definitely a good player on the field.
Yeah, he a good player, but they still he's still that Robin. He that Robin, and I'm pretty sure, man, they're gonna be looking for a Batman. So they're gonna have to get Chubb up out of there just so they can have the room to find that guy. Because in order to find that guy, you got to give these young players a healthy amount of opportunities. And I don't want Chubb over there complaining so he can, you know, get his stats so he can reach an incentive so he can get paid. Because at this point in his career, it's about the money for him right now. Staying here, you damn sure ain't gonna win no Super Bowl or nothing staying here. So I already know what you're looking for. You're looking for the money.
Yeah, we need to turn this team around from being a place where people go to retire to being a place where people start their careers and then retire.
Yeah, yeah, facts.
Start and
You
end
know,
their careers.
don't have nobody on this team that's looking to hit in the centers right now. You know, we just want players that want to be here and want to play for the love of the game.
Which brings me back to Tyreek Hill, man. Because he's expressed on multiple occasions and multiple different situations, even like just casually having conversations out while he's having an IRL stream, talking about how him and his family both love it in Florida. And you remember
They love it.
I talked to him and he said that he's willing to restructure his contract. And then after that, in an interview, Jeff Hafley had mentioned that he wants to possibly restructure Tyreek Hill's contract. So
Hey, and if that happened, then boom, Malik Willis is on his way, and boy, good lord, get ready for what might be some light work fireworks.
at least some exciting football, right? Even if we lose, like I've said all season, right? I, I don't know what Dallas Cowboy fans really are bitching about. Like, what do you really have to bitch about? Yeah, you didn't make it to the playoffs, but I mean, it's not like you're going out there and looking like a bunch of high school kids playing football. Like you guys are losing games by a field goal or less, and it's 30-point plus games. You guys are
Yeah,
playing exciting football. You know, you're just losing because like they have the ball last. They're like the coach is a little bit better. You know what I mean? Or it's just like they're one mistake too many on your side. You know, it's not like you're getting blown out 35-10. You know,
facts, facts.
if we were losing like that, I wouldn't be so upset about it. Like the way that we played last year, the way that we were losing last year, like how could you stand behind any of that?
Yeah, yeah, not putting up no points, not doing no offense. Like, just what are you doing? But see, that was
Like
that
how many how
whole.
many drives how many drives did we fail to even make it across the 50-yard line?
Hey, look, them two gone. You know, I most definitely believe that they probably gonna cut Tua this year, well, June, post June, and move forward like that. I think, I, I, you know, even even they, even your boy Troy Aikman would agree with cutting him as fast as possible. Like, even when you looked at, listen to Jeff and Rich talk about the cap, you know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure he's well aware of going ahead taking the bullet now and moving forward. I mean, and I
Well, I
think
mean,
he excited. I think he excited to be able to control the team the way that you know the general managers control it here in Miami, versus Green Bay.
just like I told you at the beginning, like it's really encouraging. It's really encouraging as a Dolphin fan right now if you listen to that Dave Wannstedt interview because I'm telling you, like he already talked about the quarterback is our biggest problem, and that he's already been in the ears of Jeff Hafley telling him like giving him advice on how to deal with it or how to fix it, et cetera, et cetera. So like we could see like something get worked out where Tua it doesn't cost us a fortune. Like and that's the really the biggest thing I'm hoping for. And the fact that Dave Wannstedt is still in the ear of Jeff Hafley after all these years is just it's very encouraging to know that like we really are doing it the right way this time.
This off season gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun for. I can't wait till we see Tua got cut, cause then we're gonna be done with them. All them, let's ball it up, throw it in the trash, keep it moving, and hope they'll never fall for some shit like that ever again, boy. And that's why, you know, I know I'm about to sound crazy with this, but um Mendoza, he coming out his junior year, right?
Yeah.
I I kind of I don't know, man. I kind of feel like he taking advantage of a good year. You know what I'm saying?
He's taking
Like,
advantage of a weak quarterback class.
yeah, like I really feel like this is a money grab. Like, of course, everybody be like, "Ain't nothing wrong with that." Oh, you crazy? Like, you want to take advantage of a good year. You know what I'm saying? True, but this is junior year. He got one more year to prove that he really that thing. Like, I don't know, man. It's just, it just took me kind of wrong that he coming out his junior year instead of, I mean, his last year to play college football. That was just my little thoughts on Mendoza. I just wanted to get that out there.
Yeah, well, he's going to end up in Las Vegas with Tom Brady. See how that goes.
Ah, yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, if he do pair up with Tom Brady, then it. I don't know, bro. It might go well for him, but you know,
But
it,
that
it
also depends
him
too
just
on how much influence Tom Brady's allowed to have or will be having because he's got so much going on his damn self, with the Fox
yeah,
and he's the owner of the team or part owner of the team. So it's like he has a
yeah.
lot of
Even if
restrictions. He has a lot of restrictions. He may not be
yeah,
able to be one on one a whole lot with Mendoza.
right. So yeah, I don't know, man. It's just that just threw my alarm up on them. You know what I'm saying? I feel like the key, and nothing wrong with it. It's just some guys that do come out early like that, that they don't prove to be it. They that guy that much. Not unless I'm wrong, but if the chat or anybody could pull up five, then I stand corrected. But if not, then case in point.
Do you know in what rounds Jordan Love and Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers got drafted in?
Um, I know Jordan Love was in the first round.
Was
Jordan
he?
Love was. I know Jordan Love was after Justin. Aaron Rodgers. I think Aaron Rodgers was the first round pick too. Yeah, I think Aaron Rodgers was the first round pick. Now Brett Favre, uh, that's stretching it for me. I can't.
Yeah, I know, right? It's like, oh man, that's really trying to hit that memory bone.
Hmm.
Yeah, because I don't have
But
any
if I'm
electronic
not,
on me to look it up.
me neither. If I'm not mistaken, he probably was the first rounder too. If I'm not mistaken, I mean, he probably. I never heard of him coming no Doug Flutie route. You know what I'm
I'm just,
saying?
I was
Go
just
ahead.
asking to try and figure out if any of those gems they found outside of the first round or if they were all first rounders
I mean,
to kind of get a gauge of like how they draft exactly.
who's to necessarily say they was really first round talent? You get what I'm saying? Because the way they don't let their quarterback sit and learn, I mean, you know, it just seemed like they developed them.
So with that being said, you could do that with a fourth rounder or a sixth rounder or a seventh rounder, right?
I mean, maybe, who knows? I mean, you know,
Just picture it like this, right? When I did my mock draft and I traded out of the first round to get extra picks for the draft, giving us six total picks within the top 100. You were I was still able to get the guy named Talon Green in the sixth round, or not the sixth round, but I picked 114. Grabbed Talon Green, who's a 6'6" quarterback, 240 some odd pounds. Um, Late. Not saying that he's the prodigy or he's the next Dan Marino. Just saying that that's like a big body guy that could be like a Josh Allen type. That could be a
yeah,
guy.
Yeah.
Especially if you pull in somebody like a Malik Willis. I'm not saying he's gonna be a great teacher, but like going off the example of what we were talking about earlier, you know what I mean? Let's say he has gotten better and he comes in here and he is a great player and is able to train a young rookie guy up. Um,
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Like, even if Malik ain't is not really able to train them, you know what I'm saying? The organization is, you know, is doing their due diligence with the young kid. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's just all a part of bringing the quarterback competition bar up. You know, raising the level, bringing it up. You know what I'm saying? Even at receiver, you know what I'm saying? We need to raise that bar up. You know what I mean? Secondary, that bar need to be raised. Like, I think those two bars, those three, once you raise those, the quarterback level and the receiver level, I I think the DB bar is gonna come right with it. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna inherently get better DBs once you start having better receivers, because the DBs you have, you're gonna see your receivers just trashing them, and the quarterback is just so that's gonna automatically make you go get better DBs. Once you do that, you know, I mean, it just all correlates with one another. Once you get better on the offensive line, you're going to inherently get better on the defensive line because your offensive line is getting better. You know, just iron sharpen iron, steel sharpen
well,
steel.
Well, like I had spoke on earlier, right? Like I had spoke on earlier, I think our offensive line is going to get significantly better just by snapping our fingers. Not saying that they're going to be world beaters. I'm just saying that they're going to be already better than they were because they're going to be going back to blocking and running plays like they grew up learning how to. And in my mock draft, I drafted a couple guys that were very versatile on the offensive line, meaning that you can plug and play them there anywhere on the offensive line, which is really great for depth at the offensive line position, which is probably the most important, right? Because how many injuries do we always suffer on our offensive line, or teams suffer on their offensive line? So if you have guys that can be plug and played in any of the positions and they're still really good players, that creates depth and that creates an evenness. I was talking about this last night. It's like I think you don't see a lot of big name players on Green Bay, right? It's not a bunch of world beaters that you see on Green Bay, right? It's kind of a bunch of I wouldn't call them average Joes, but really good players, right? So you could be a team like Kansas City where you put four elite players on the team, but you have a bunch of C's, D's, F's, like, and no B's or no other A's. You know what I mean? Like you have four A pluses and then a bunch of C's, D's, E's, and F's. But Green Bay, it's more like they have a bunch of C's, a bunch of B's, some A's, but like mostly C's, B's, and A's. You know what I mean? So where they're
Yeah,
evening it out.
that I mean, that's just the mentality, to hate to bring up his name right now, but that's just the route that Flo was trying to take. He was trying to build through the draft, you know what I'm saying? Key free agents that fit the mold of what he's trying to build and everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, this same ideology of what we're trying to adopt, we have tried to adopt it before. You know what I'm saying? I guess the person that was trying to do the buy everybody in, you know, everybody didn't really like right there. So hopefully, this guy right here that's trying to get us to adopt this same ideology, everybody just feed into him.
Yeah. So I got a project for us to to cook up for the next show, right? So I don't know when you want to plan on having the next show or not, but here's a project that we can cook up for the next show. Let's both do a mock draft and get all the information on the players, be able to like come up here, present our mock draft, talk about it, talk about the players, talk about why we picked them, where we picked them, maybe talk about if we make any type of moves. Um, like I was talking about earlier, how I've made like a trade out of the first round to grab extra picks, et cetera, et cetera. I think that'd be a really fun um thing to go through, like the both of us to see if like we have similar names, like we're thinking similar guys or things like that. It'll also give us an idea of who we should. We'll already know what when we do end up going through the draft. We'll already know what these players are capable of, right? We'll already know if it's a good move or not, in our opinions. You know, what I mean, not saying that we're expert analysts, but everybody has an opinion, and all of them are valid to an extent, right?
Get what you're saying there. I mean, yeah, I could do that. And on the flip side of that, I just I just like to really see how really wanna I mean, I know he gave us a broad view of how he want to build this team, physical up front, this, that, and the third. But I feel like it is mainly gonna, well, then again, we can really pinpoint the type of players that, you know, they want. So, that'll be cool. That'll be cool because I again, you know what I'm saying? I don't know, man, because I don't know what kind of DBs Jeff like. I don't know where he like man DBs or the corner DBs or, you know what I'm saying, hybrid
Mm.
safeties or run support safeties. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
Like,
But Kenneth, this is how we hold our GM and our head coach accountable, right? Because what did they say? They're not going to build this team through personal preference. They're going to build this team for the best, for what's best for the team. So this is going to be our way of gauging if they're living by that, right? Because we look at this DB and you look at this DB, right? This DB definitely looks like the best mold for the team, but this DB looks like a guy that Jeff Halfley would like, but he's definitely not better than this guy here. You know what I'm saying?
true indeed, true indeed, true indeed. I mean, but I guess we could kind of tell because, you know what I'm saying? Even though, yeah, Jeff Halfley was the DC over there in Green Bay, so yeah, he wanted man DBs. He wanted man DBs because Tavon Diggs is he's a man on man. He don't like to play zone that much. So, but he also have that's the thing, yo. I yeah, yeah, I know. I think I got an idea what kind of you know defense he like to run, what type of players he like to have right now. Cause that Green Bay defense, they give you multiple looks. They play zone like a motherfucker, but they also play man. You know, within they'll show you a look, and as the ball is hiked, they are developing into another look. They was one of the best at that 2 years ago, wasn't they? They did numbers on tour with that. Like that's another reason why they not gonna keep Tua. Like I don't know what anybody thinking they keep it Tua. Like did you just see how they demolished him the last 2 years playing against him?
Well, they gave him one of his concussions in 2023.
Exactly. Like they know what, man, they is not keeping Tua, yo. Like he is gone, yo. Like there is a definite cut post June. Like I think they even laughed in their damn head when Tua was brought up and
Like
oh
you
man,
really
yo,
you really
no
asking me
wonder
this
why.
question right now. You guys already know the answer. Why do you have to make me be the bad guy?
Oh man, good
I just got
lord.
here.
Nah, like just really bringing it full circle right now. Like just really bringing it real full circle, yo. Like they was there when they gave Tua that concussion. They was there Christmas Day. That there was the guys Christmas Day who made Tua look like he was like Christmas Day, everybody remember Christmas Day when we was throwing goddamn it tomato cans, tomato juice, bread, everything at the TV on Christmas Day. Like everybody Christmas Day was trash because of these two guys over there. Now we got them in the building, y'all. I don't understand how y'all can't be excited off of that right there.
I'm excited. I've said it multiple times. I'm super excited. I like the move. I feel like it's a good move. It's a smart move because they're coming from a winning organization. And for one, Sully's been there the whole time. And the only thing that worries me about it, right, is the fact that Sully's been in one building the whole time. So he hasn't, yes, he's experienced success, but he hasn't experienced failure either. So it's like, how is he gonna deal with failure when he fails this first year? Because we all know it's coming, right? We could still be excited for next year, knowing that we're on a track to a better team and a better future as an organization. But like, let's be real, ladies and gentlemen. Next year is not going to be pretty. And how's he going to handle
I,
that?
I
How's he going
mean,
to
he
handle
went.
having a failing season?
I'm about
What
to tell
what,
you.
what lessons is he going to take and learn from that? Like that's the one thing that hurts him about staying in one organization the whole time.
I'm about to tell you who gonna help him. Your dude Jeff gonna help him do it because what you just explained or described right there is what Jeff done went through. You know, we already done heard he was sleeping up under his desk at work. Like, you know what I'm saying? So when shit get hard and it's not going right, Jeff ain't gonna do nothing but remind Sully, we got this. You know what I'm saying? Like Jeff come from that grit. He come from the mud. Like betting on himself. Jeff come from that. So I think Sully gonna be all right because he surround himself by somebody that done been through it. So I think Jeff gonna be all right. I mean Sully. Sully gonna be all right. That's the one thing he did. That concern right there, you don't have to worry about Cat because he went and got somebody that done been through
All right, I can dig that. You got me. You got me, bruh.
it. Yeah, we ain't got to worry about that. Yeah, like I said, man, I think these two guys, I wanted Vance Joseph, but we got somebody with almost identical resume. I ain't mad at the move.
And now we got one more coordinator position to be filled, ladies and gentlemen. Jeff Hafley said that we should have them filled by the weekend. And we've seen the Pittsburgh Steelers, who were pretty eyeing Anthony Weaver pretty heavily until Mike McCarthy walked into their building and just wowed them and became the head coach of the Steelers. So that leaves big old question marks around Anthony Weaver. We've talked about it a little bit. You can go back through the show if you're here afterwards. Make sure y'all leave comments down below. Let us know how you feel on any of the topics that we talked about. We'll get back to you. But where does that leave Anthony Weaver? Well, I'm with you, Kenna. I don't think we're going to see Anthony Weaver here next year. I'm taking the hot take now. I think by 8 a.m. tomorrow morning, you will see Adam Schefter tweeting out, and you will see Cat in the Hat tweeting out as well and putting out a video of Sean Duggan. Sean Duggan, the new defensive coordinator for the Miami Dolphins. Hot take.
That's a hot take. Okay, I like that. I like that. I like that. Yeah, I'm also, I'm with it. Somebody young, new, coming up. You know, I ain't digged out there to see who else we got right now, but I do know we need to move off of Weaver. We need to let him go. You know, have whatever epiphany he need to have. Do whatever he need to do. Bring somebody in that a little more hungry, a little more eager. Cause I don't think we've seen hunger from a Miami Dolphins defense, but we haven't seen a hungry Miami Dolphins defense.
No,
You
man, I
know,
want to get back. I want to get back to the early '90s, bro. Like early 2000s, late '90s. We had guys like
yeah.
Jason Taylor and Zach Thomas just like wreaking
I
havoc
mean,
on
even
quarterbacks. You had Patrick Surtain and Sam Madison. like shutting down
Yeah,
wide receivers. You had Junior Seau coming in out of nowhere. Like,
but
I want to get
but
back
see,
to
that's what
those
I'm
days,
saying.
man.
That's what I'm saying. Like even within those days right there, those guys you just named, like we had Pat and Sam. You know what I'm saying? Like we didn't. It didn't seem like we had all of them that you know all of them at one time type deal. Like we had Jason Taylor, but we also had Jason Taylor when we had Pat Surtain and them at the back end of their careers. You know what I'm saying? Like I think we had Zach Thomas and Jason Taylor together, if I'm remembering it right. So we
Yeah,
had that two
there
combination. We
was a
had that
point.
one,
There was a point where we had all five of them together, and that
you
was a
know.
beautiful year.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
was
but
that was a
it was
beautiful
yeah.
year.
Yeah, we need somewhere we can have somebody coming on because I mean,
Every one of
we
them
had
had an
Brock
interception,
Marion.
bro. Every one of them had an
Yeah.
interception, and Zach Thomas and Jason Taylor returned one for a touchdown. It was a freaking beautiful year that year.
Um, yeah, we need to get back to the defense league in this organization. Like it used to be. Like we was never led by offense. We was always led by defense. Like,
Well, I mean, the
you
Dan
know,
Marino days, we were definitely led by offense, and that we lacked the defense, and that's why.
I
It,
mean, just beside the little Marino era, like, predominantly it's been defense for us.
yeah, because if you go back to the perfect season, that wasn't really led by the quarterback. I mean, that was
Nah,
more of our running game and our
yeah,
defense.
and our defense, yeah. Well, you know, we ain't no surf on. We ain't no surf. We don't surf. We run in the sand over here. That's all this organization was known for, running the ball and playing defense.
And we got runners on this team. Like that's our biggest most valuable piece on the team right now in Devon A Chain. Um, so
And I
like we,
think,
we already
I think,
if we run by that standard and knowing the quarterback situation right now is very questionable, like we should be okay. I mean, let's look back at Joe Mixon when he was on the Houston Texans. I think he had over 1,500 yards. Probably I can't say the stats right now. I don't have a number in front of me, but I know Joe Mixon had a very good year when they were under the reins of Bobby Slowick. And Bobby Slowick's going to be taking over this offense this year. He's going to be calling the plays. He's going to be running it. It's going to be kind of like what we saw in Houston a couple years ago when C.J. Stroud came into the league, and which doesn't stray me away from the fact that they may go get a quarterback this year, a rookie quarterback. Going to have first time head coach, a rookie
hey,
quarterback, and it's
I
going to look
think,
just like it did when Houston had C.J. Stroud and D'Amico Ryans coming in because Bobby Slowick, offensive coordinator. There's like similarities there. I'm
but
gonna
did
refer
you,
myself.
okay, okay. Well, while he walk away, I'm gonna let y'all know that if you was to listen to Jeff and the way he talk about his defense, it's he looking for players on the offensive side that will take the top off the defense, will hit on them big plays because that's what he's defending on. That's what he's trying to take away. So, I very much do think that, bringing in Malik Willis is probably going to be part of the plan, because he's looking for an offense to hit on those big plays that he's trying to take away. That
Could
that's
be.
what I mean. He said
I'm
it in
still
his
not
interview.
sold. I'm still
If
not
you,
sold on Malik Willis
I know,
until
but if you in his interview, if you was listening, he said that he was also looking for the type of offensive minded guy that is gonna take those big plays and hit on them. That those same big plays that he's trying to take away. So. Yeah, that's why I'm thinking Malik Willis is uh, it's. I feel like it's only a matter of time before he's here, and I feel like the faster they get him in, the quicker they get acclimated and everything, the better off it'll be. Don't even wait on it. Just go ahead and do it. You know,
So
get it
is that your
done.
hot take? Is that your hot take? We're
Yeah,
getting
yeah.
Malik Willis.
Soon as first free agency hit and everything get open and everything, Malik Willis will be a Dolphin.
And y'all heard my hot take on that because it's tied to Tyreek Hill. Come March 18th, if Tyreek Hill's still on this team, we owe him $11.8 million. I said if we keep Tyreek Hill, then we won't get Malik Willis. But if we get rid of Tyreek Hill, you will see Malik Willis show up on the team.
But you also don't say that Tyreek done said that he will reconstruct his contract.
Exactly, exactly. And that's why I'm not like, if Malik Willis comes, cool. I'm okay. Like, figure out how to make it work. I'm not against it. I personally don't think it's going to happen. I think it's going to go a different route. I think we're going to have viewers battle. I think they're just going to eat the Tua shit. We're probably going to end up getting stuck with him. They're going to draft a QB. We're going to have a three-way QB battle, and we're going to run through A-Chain, going to draft, and
Yeah, but these it seemed like these guys believe in the football gods. So I if we got the first pick of the year next year, I feel like these guys, mm, that's gonna be a hard pill to swallow with all the excitement that we are exhibiting right now.
like I can't get away from the fact that I just like it just epiphanied on me before I went and got my coffee, bro. That the fact that we're literally looking at a similar situation that Houston was looking at in 2022 when they hired D'Amico Ryans as a first time head coach. They brought in a rookie quarterback in CJ Stroud. They had Bobby Slowick as their offensive coordinator. They had a running back in their backfield, a guy named by the name of Joe Mixon that just like was a monster and had a monster year. Like we're just looking so similar to that situation. And I don't like to go off of narratives and things like that. Like people like to say that the NFL is scripted and stuff, but like it is an entertainment business. And like usually if something works, you just rerun it in a different situation or a different scenario so that like you get the same audience, like the
So
same emotions, the
so
same all of that.
so you think A Chain will be the same A Chain in a Slowick um running scheme?
I think A Chain is the type of guy that can go into any offense, any team, and still be him because he is him, right? That's his nickname, him, Timothy.
I,
That's
I, I
how I feel
mean,
about it.
this is about to be a completely different run scheme that he is about to see. So we are soon about to find out if he is him. Yes, sir, we are. We
Yeah,
can't
I
crown the
mean,
man just yet. He
we'll
he
we'll
only been
know
in one running scheme.
we'll know early too, right? Because especially
Yeah,
depending on what route we go at quarterback, it could lean heavily on him.
yeah. Because if you look at the Green Bay run, not the Green Bay, but I mean
The
he
Houston
got a
Texans.
West Coast. He got a West Coast. Joe Mixon was running in the West Coast scheme in his own run,
Yeah, I
wasn't
was
he?
gonna say I was gonna wait for you to be done, but I was gonna say like if you put A Chain and Mixon's skill sets together, they almost mirror each other. It's just that Devon A
Yeah,
Chain is a little bit more smooth with it, to where Joe Mixon is better doing north and south runs. You know what I'm saying? But they're still equally great in the receiving game, and that's what ran it. You know what I mean? That makes it
oh,
super easy to develop. That makes it super easy to develop quarterbacks if you have a running back that is always an excellent surefire security blanket.
Well, yeah. I mean, I feel like Malik Willis coming even more now. I think these guys coming over here to compete. I think they feel like they could probably change this organization around in the next year or two. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not like we don't have talent. It's just I feel like even with a Cam Smith, when like I said about Cam Smith, the talent may be there with Cam, but Cam Smith was the type of guy that came from South Carolina, down there in the country, in the boondocks, where there's nothing to do, out there in West Bubblefuck, and he comes all the way to fuck to Miami in the lights, the stars, and everything. That boy was starstruck, and he didn't have nobody at the head coach position to hone him in. That's why he was a loose cannon and wasn't focused on football, and that's what happened with Cam Smith.
And
And
I'm
with
glad you I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that because that has been a problem with Miami, right? And that's why I feel like Mike McDaniel couldn't get a hold of this locker room because he kind of fell into that category as well, even though he came from San Francisco and he should have been already okay with it. But you've seen how he developed from a nerd to a cocaine dealer from San Francisco to Miami. And that's been a problem with players too. But Jeff, I don't know if it was Jeff Halfley or Sully, but they already addressed that they know that that's a problem coming down to Miami, and that's why the player evaluation is so important to know that they're mature enough to be able to handle all of the distractions that you're going to have when you come down and play in Miami. That's why there was
yeah,
a couple there when I was going through the draft and I was doing my mock draft, there was a couple guys that I passed up even though they probably were the best player at that position. And you know why I passed them up? Because they already had issues with problems. Like one of them had issues with speeding tickets, the other one had like a DUI, one of them had a
yeah,
domestic violence thing. So it's like, oh man,
yeah,
you are really great, but you're not good for
yeah,
Miami. You're checked
yeah,
off.
yeah. Them type of guys ain't gonna be here. I'm gonna tell you the type of schools that they probably gonna look at. They're gonna look at um them heavy on culture schools like your um like Iowa heavy on culture, Wisconsin heavy on culture, Stanford heavy on culture, um who else? Hell, Notre Dame. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Just schools like that that is big on culture, and they don't have much turnover in the transfer portal because they got guys that want to be there and is committed to being there. Know the school song by heart. You know what I mean? Type of
Yeah.
people like guys like that. So I mean I guess we can really narrow down the type of guys that we're gonna go through in that they're gonna look at in this mock draft.
If y'all
Especially
anyone out there in the chat have some people you guys are eyeballing, let us know down in the comments below. Especially if you're coming here afterwards, I'll definitely look into them for sure. We're gonna be doing lots and lots of mock drafts in the coming months.
them the type of you know even like up here in Indiana that they're trying to develop the culture over here like you know they Indiana got a good fan base, so they proud of what they put out there on that field. You know what I'm saying? So
College team, right?
yeah, that's the college thing. Even the coach, man, like they
Yeah, Pat McAfee makes it sound like they got a loud stadium there. They call it the Loud House.
yeah, that stadium is loud. I've done been there in person. It is loud. You know, I need to come to Miami and see if it's any
No,
louder.
bro,
But
Miami, bro, it's not loud enough, man. And that's the problem with Miami Stadium, right? Because you look at Miami, the same things that could make could distract a young player who's not disciplined
mhm,
is like because it's so diverse. There's so many different things to do. So it's like down here in Miami, a lot of people come to retire, but a lot of people come to live a nice lifestyle as well. So it's like we have so many fans that aren't Dolphin fans that live here that it's hard to actually fill up our stadium full of Dolphin fans.
I mean, that's all a part of Ross not developing the winning organization. You
Yeah, I
know,
mean that is a reflection of that. That's a hundred
it,
percent a reflection of that.
yeah, because I mean, I'm pretty sure everybody down there is Dolphin fans. It's just that, be honest, yo,
But
if
hold
you
on.
ain't a
Before we move on, and I forget this real quick. I hope you guys are listening to Miami Dolphin Stadium organization and the things that you guys do. Some of the things that we do during these games are not exciting. Like our chant to get going, like that is very lame and very boring compared to some of these other teams. You have people beating drums, blowing horns. We just got somebody standing in a corner yelling "Let's go Dolphins" 3 times. Like, what is that? How are you supposed to get the fans
yeah,
in the stands excited with some BS like that?
fact, I'd
Let's
rather
step
see.
it up.
Yeah,
Let's step it up.
I'd rather see a damn dolphin jump in and out of the damn tank than somebody goddamn yelling, "Let's go." Come
Whoa, bro,
on.
Jacksonville has a pool in their stadium. Did you see that during the playoff game? Some kid was
Fact.
like playing in the pool, man. Like,
Yeah.
what are we doing, Ross? What are we doing? We got the F1 track that is fucked up parking for the last 5 years.
Right. Right. I mean, if Ross really wanted to be innovative with that stadium, I would have made that motherfucker into a damn big ass fish tank. That shit would have been sweet. And put nothing
I'll
but
service that
dolphins in
bitch
that
for free.
bitch.
Just I'll service that bitch. Just give me season tickets.
On the hood, for real. But yeah, like I don't know, man. Like looking at the stadium, the way that it's built and everything, he he let it seemed like he let a lot of the noise escape the stadium instead of trapping it in and letting that shit just silver in the middle. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because like if you're up in the 300, like you don't hear, like the people below you can't hear you no matter what. Like it just goes up and it's
Yeah,
open, so
yeah.
it just goes up.
Yeah, he tried to be architectural. He tried to be too much of an architect with this shit and make it for the looks when, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, build that shit up like a motherfucking gladiator stadium where all that sound is right there in the middle, hovering, and, you can feel that sound roaring over your head and whatnot, man. Like,
I
yeah, he
mean,
let a lot of the sound escape.
in all reality, with where we live in Miami, especially with how hot it gets in September, like those games in September, October, November, like with how hot
Yeah.
it gets, we should have an indoor stadium. We should at least have a roof or something.
I mean, look what Indy did. They got a retractable roof over here. Like, come on, man. All that fucking money and shit you doing over there, Ross. Like he took away the essence of a football stadium just because he's a fucking real estate guy that know how to landscape or some shit. Like you took away the essence of fucking football, which is the dome like shaped gladiator feel in the foot, man.
It's like I don't understand how we've hosted so many Super Bowls.
I mean, because of the look, man. It's the look. It's the look. That's it.
Now it's the location, man. The location.
I mean, I'm talking. Well, besides the location, I'm just saying like the actual
You know
look of the
that's why a
stadium and
lot of
everything. That
that's
should
why a
look
lot of
good.
these teams are that's why a lot of these teams are rebuilding stadiums like the Washington Commanders, the Buffalo Bills. They're rebuilding it so that they can have Super Bowls held at their stadiums. Because with the way that they're currently set up, like you can't have a Super Bowl this year in Buffalo, right?
Right, right. You can't. Man, I think the stadium should be shaped like the like your logo, like your symbol. You know what I'm saying? Like, your stadium should have something to do. Like it it should resemble your team. Your stadium should resemble your team. That would be tight, see the stadium made like a fish bowl or a fish tank or something. You got dolphins swimming through. You got a big dolphin at the end of the, like, although, I don't know why they pick a dolphin, it would have been
I don't
nice
know
if
if
it would have
I
been the
don't know if I'd be
sharks.
down, bro. That I'm gonna let you know this now. I work with fish tanks. I work in that business.
Yeah.
The cost of that would cause ticket prices to fucking skyrocket.
I mean, I understand that. Yeah, it probably would. Probably would. It probably
It's
would
like
for every
that's
city
like
because
constant maintenance and like,
yeah, it
uh,
probably would
I
for
mean,
every
it's a
city.
cool idea, definitely a cool concept, but it would be expensive.
Yeah, I think he need to close that stadium up or something, boy, because he taking away a good amount of home field advantage. Even though he using the weather acclimate part, but you know, man, that
Well,
as loud as he can get that stadium with all them Dolphin fans in Miami, yo, that heat plus the loudness, man, that'll crush almost any team.
we've seen the effects of um like the home field advantage that we used to have, we don't have it no more ever since that Buffalo game where Stephon Diggs was on the sideline crying to OSHA and shit, right? Because if you look back, like we used to have 3 to 4 games at home at the 1 o'clock hour every year. And now, like last year, we only had one during the early year. And the year before that, it was only two. But yeah,
Yeah,
Buffalo Bill fans had their fans out there shoveling snow shirtless so they can play football games. And they want to
man.
call OSHA because it's too fucking hot.
I mean,
Let's
but
be real.
that comes along with not being a winning organization. When somebody call and complain about your establishment, you know, they're gonna look at your track record with winning and being successful and whatnot, and see you ain't really been producing nothing. So, of course they're gonna feel like they can bring the hammer down on you. That's what I feel like happened to Ross. You ain't really a significant part of the NFL. If you was, Stephen Diggs wouldn't be crying about playing here because he probably would be here. You know, you just don't hear nothing about no other stadium getting called on for some shit like that.
Well, this is me calling it on Buffalo right now, but it's kind of irrelevant now that they've already played their last game in their old stadium and their new one has a roof, so you don't have to worry about shoveling snow anymore, Buffalo fans. Y'all are welcome for that.
Eh, I wonder if they got a retractable roof over that shit
Most likely.
to
I think
still
with the
take advantage of
technology,
some of.
because I know Washington Commander Stadium does the one that they're planning on building. It
Yeah,
has a
still take
retractable roof.
advantage of still take advantage of some of it. Cause I know, cause man, the way them Buffalo Bills fans used to come out there in that damn cold ass snow, yo, I don't see why they wouldn't leave it open, let some snow get down up in that motherfucker, and then close it when it get too bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
They don't do that shit here in Indy, boy. They took that all the way off.
it's just straight
And I,
closed.
yeah, they keep that bitch closed. Like they barely open that motherfucker up in the. They barely open that roof.
Word.
Yeah, it be some warm days. They don't even open it on them days.
Well, all right, man. We got conference championship football coming up here in a couple hours. It kicks off with the Patriots and the Broncos. Let's talk about that real quick before we get done with cooking with the real.
Yeah, that game, boy. I hate Bo Nix had to be hurt this game. It's a surefire for New England right now.
I don't think so. I was talking about this, and I've been talking about this all week because I was trying to really pinpoint this game and figure it out. And I'm still like, I've come to the realization that this game is going to be decided by a coaching decision. The winner of this game is going to be because the coach won this game. And I really feel like it's going to be a point conversion decision, right? So we're going at the end of fourth quarter. The Broncos come back to have an opportunity to either tie the game and go into overtime or try and win it all. And they are, and they're going to get it on a 2-point conversion, and that's how they're going to beat the New England Patriots and head into the Super Bowl. Because I don't think Jarrett Stidham needs to go out here and be a superstar. He doesn't need to go out there and be a superstar. He needs to go out there and be a game manager. They need to run this ball through the ground. They need to play that smash mouth defense that they got them here and control the clock. And it's going to come down to which coach is going to outcoach the other coach.
Yeah, I totally disagree, bro. I think this game is set up for New England to appear in the Super Bowl this year. You know, Sean Payton had a good run at it. Bo Nix is down. You know, his general is gone right now. You know, he got to get
Well,
his
you
backup general out. Captain? His
you
captain
do
is
me a
down.
favor.
Go
You do
ahead.
me a favor and you check your Hard Rock bet. You check your Hard Rock bet app at halftime when the Denver Broncos are down by 10 points. I guarantee you that'll be the highest point that it'll get for the Broncos payout to win. And you go ahead and you make that bet.
Yeah, I'll make that bet. I think New England going. Yeah, I'll make that bet, bro. I just don't. So same reason I predicted them to win the Houston game. You know, New England's too balanced right now, and being that even with Bo Nix that this was going to be a struggle game for Denver to win. You know, New England's just a balanced team. They're too balanced on offense. You know, their running game is working just as good as their passing game. You know, they front four on defense is want to punch you in the mouth just as much as they running game wanting to punch you in their mouth. And I just don't. Yeah, I'm going with New England. They're too balanced. I'm going with that. Henderson for 100, 125 rushing touchdown. The backup running back probably gonna have 75 yards. You know, Drake May probably gonna have 150 with 2 touchdowns.
You got a score?
Uh, New England 35, Denver 21.
Okay. Yeah, I got Denver winning 22-21, like I said, off that 2-point conversion. Um, yeah, I think, like I said, I think it's going to be it's going to be Juan from coaching.
Yeah, I think Sean Payton done his well done ran dry. You know, I mean, even if you look at that Denver and who did they play? Um
Last week
yeah,
they played Buffalo last week.
yeah. Oh yeah, so okay.
Yeah.
Thinking back,
Okay.
thinking back. All right, yeah. Gotcha now. Thinking back to
But
that
they did have
Buffalo
Bo Nix,
game.
so it's like they did have Bo Nix during that game. That's when Bo Nix ended up going out at the end of the game. But like they still came back and won that game.
Yeah, they did,
And that's all they need Jarrett Stidham to do as well. It's like you just got to manage it, bro. Don't
but
turn the ball over.
right, but what I'm saying is Bo Nix came up with some key plays that I don't think Stellan would muster up. You get what I'm saying? Like I get what you're
Yeah,
saying. You are correct, but even within that struggle, you know, if Bo Nix didn't even make them plays, it would have been game over. We would be looking at Buffalo and New England right now. So, like I said, I mean, I just don't see Stidham making them same plays as a Bo Nix. I don't see him making them Bo Nix type plays,
with only four
and that's
with
what
with only
prevailed.
with only four career starts, you could be 100% spot on with that, Kenna. We'll have to wait and see. But the Rams and the Seahawks in Seattle, one of the loudest stadiums in the league. What are your thoughts?
Hey, they proved me wrong last week. I think they beat their toughest challenge, so I got to go with the Rams.
The Chicago Bears, correct. Yeah, I feel the same way. Remember, I don't know if you remember me saying it earlier in the season, but I think it's going to be a Rams Super Bowl. And I think the only team that could even stop them would be the Chicago Bears. And they overcame that obstacle last week. Yeah, it wasn't a pretty game, but at the same time, they won. Matthew Stafford ended up pulling it together. The defense pulled it together and didn't let the Chicago Bears make their eighth season comeback in the fourth quarter for a win. So, and these two teams have played each other already twice this season. And the first time it was a Seattle, it was a Los Angeles Rams win. It was a score of 21-19. So not a very pretty game offensively, right? But the second game was 38-37 Seattle Seahawks. So we don't know what we're going to get in this game, right? It could be a low scoring game or it could be a high scoring game.
Facts. Yeah, it could be either or. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I just think the fact that they had a tough game like that and they prevailed, I I think they battle tested right now.
Yeah, I'm still going Rams all the way. It's just hard for me to give an accurate score on this. Like, I really don't know what it's going to come out and start like. I think one thing that is hurting Seattle, or two things that's hurting Seattle, is like Sam Darnold is dealing with that oblique injury. Yes, he says he's good to go. He's practiced all week, but they're also down a running back, Charbonnet. He's out for this game, and that's kind of what lets this offense get rolling and get cooking is the ability for them to have that dual threat at running back. So now, if you're limited to one running back, it's kind of going to throw a wrench into. We're really going to see what not Kevin O'Connell, Mike McDonald, and the Seattle can cook up because this Rams defense ain't gonna. They're not slowing down right now. They're only getting going because they got a Super Bowl to win as well.
I yeah, I'm taking I'm taking New England and the Rams in the Super Bowl.
Yep, and I got Rams Broncos. Rams Broncos. Let's go.
Damn, I hate to say it, but I'm predicting New England to win the Super Bowl.
Ah, get the fuck out of here. Rams are taking it all the way. And that's where we end the show, ladies and gentlemen.
For real. Damn, I hate to say that shit. Fuck New England. Damn.
No, I can't say that as a Dolphin fan. That's why I'm rooting against them so bad. Like
Yeah, I kind of.
I'm really hoping Sean Payton can outcoach Mike Vrabel, and that's how they're
Yeah, I
going to
see.
do.
I see you standing on that horse strong. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like you know yourself. New England got the better team.
No, hands down. I mean, like you're not wrong that they're like just a completely balanced team, and like this is what we're talking about. Jeff Hafley and Sully doing with our team is like making them a completely balanced team to do something like this, you know. So it's like, yeah, I get that, but I'm still rooting against it.
Yeah, I feel you. I feel you.
But yeah, I do gotta get off
Yeah.
here. Let me get going, do some stuff with the family and shit today.
All right, man. Be
This has
safe out
been
there.
this has been Cooking with the Real with your boy Cat in the Hat from the AFC Eastie Boys. Also with Kenna, Only the Real Survive. Make sure you go over to his channel. You hit that subscribe button as well. Hit the subscribe button on your way out. And if you guys got any comments, drop them below. We got lots of things going on in the channel, so you want to stay tuned in. But it's been real. Man, this is
I'll
Cooking with
let you.
the Real. Oh, I'm looking at my laptop behind me, and the camera's over here.
All right, bro.
All right, later.
Yep.